The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world. I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I'm your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to like it, give it a share. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you are following me on all the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with a DM or you can leave it in the comments down below. If you are going to hit me up with a DM, please no spamming. And if you are going to leave it in the comments below, join the I Concur Army. All you have to do, because only you can concur to a suggestion, all you have to do is read through the comment section. Just a quick cursory glance, just read down through the middle of the page. You don't have to read every line, just read down through the middle. It's a key to speed reading. And if you see your suggestion has, just look for the keywords. If you see your suggestion has already been made, like that comment, and below, reply with I concur. C-O-N-C-U-R. I concur. It's just a joke that we used to have. My buddies in the military and I would joke about it. It's kind of our way of saying, okay, okay, dude, let's just get moving with this. So just leave the I concur, and that helps my old burnout DJ brain get everything into a nice little organized list as much as it can be, and then I can get it into the handy-dandy notebook. And also, don't forget, every Saturday, 2 p.m., we are doing the Wild Side Live, a live stream for 2 hours, subscribers only. Your opportunity to jump into a chat with me and ask me anything. Anything you want to know about radio, my time being rock star adjacent, stories about the business, behind the scenes, whatever you want to call it. I always tell people that radio is nothing like WKRP in Cincinnati, but everybody in radio has had, I swear to God, I thought turkeys could fly moments. So we've all had them. And if you want to hear the stories, every Saturday, 2 p.m. So thank you, everybody, for joining in those. Before we get started in today's video, I want to say thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. They're the reasons I don't ask you for money. So thank you very much to them. And I have had this eyelash kind of dangling down. Sorry, it's kind of been bothering me. Also, I don't know what's going on outside, but hopefully they're done emptying the dumpsters at the fast food restaurants. Maybe they didn't get them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe that's why I slept through the night, was because they didn't get them at 3 o'clock in the morning. So a little bit of a distraction happening outside, even though things are pretty well soundproofed here on the east side of Nashville. Today's video suggestion is coming from the live chat. In the live chat, people were asking me, had I reacted to this one? Had I reacted to that one? And really what it was me explaining why I'm not reacting to some of these suggestions. And I'm honest with people. I try to be as candid as possible with people while still keeping some elements of my private life private. So I'm not that guy. So today's suggestion is coming from the live chat from this past weekend. And today's suggestion, we're going to go all the way back to 2004 when the album was released, but we're actually going to go to the end of an era concert. Nightwish released the album once in 2004, and the track we're checking out today comes from that album. It's called Creek Mary's Blood. Make sure I get that right. Let's check it out. I know that guy. Now, for those of you who have just joined The Wild Side with Eric Clark, so you know how I do this, you send me the link, I click it, and go. Okay, so I did a little bit of when the album was released, but as far as that, no clue. So I just clicked the link. So if I got the wrong version, I'm sorry. I just clicked the link. But I do recognize that guy. He's a that guy. I don't know why I know him, but I know that dude. I don't know exactly, so let me know. But I know him. I know who he is. He's something.
On Shunkmane du Tanka be Hena, Shunkawa Kanbe Watoga Hena. Oblaye te Anka be Owihan Keshne Hena. Ta ate ebekin asniki ashni he akatan hanbi iwanka. Oblaye te Anka kin oshicheshni mitaku yebe on. Makoche kin wakan tanka kinon. Miwichala okini, han hepi e yuha kichi, han pechu e yuha kichi yelo. Miye checha he haka kin yelo. Na niye checha sunkmane tutanka pi king ka mikaga wo wa shaka ison. Un chimpi duweni ni taku keya stak un wakupi pela nukakiya. Am pechu washte le talawan le alawan un magaina bitayelo un tapi it okav otaye na ekte ena on hanska o haka ni itans ni au ni da ni ihanke yelo.
An incredibly moving piece of music that is. Need a second to break all this apart. It was Nightwish, Creek Mary's Blood from End of an Era, the song from the album Once, recorded in 2004. Fill me in with everything I get wrong. Again, I did a little cursory research prior to watching the video, so I just wanted to know what the album, the year, and then I saw a link to the poem. So I read the poem, so I know what he's saying here, and I'll get to that here in a second. But what an incredibly moving piece of art that was. 8.5 minutes, should be hanging on a museum somewhere, without a doubt. So let me try to get this as unpacked as possible, and I'm going to rely on my Holy Trinity to do this. Because it was a live performance, I'm able to make those. I look for certain things when bands perform live, and I'm listening for certain things. So I'm going to rely on that right now. So let's go with the first part of the Holy Trinity, which is the band's relationship with the audience. When you go see a live show, for me anyway, I want to see what kind of chemistry is being created between what is happening on stage, what's being constructed on stage, and what's being absorbed in the other element to the equation, if you will. And I want to see what that connection is, what kind of vibe is in there, what kind of colors are being produced, excuse me, with the auras and the energies coming off of both of these groups of individuals, smashing into each other somewhere in the ether between the two. So I always like to see, what that relationship is like. And the one thing, really, this is an easy one. What an incredible display of reverence here. Just an absolutely incredible display of respect and reverence from both the band, and I wish I could remember the guy's name. Between the band and the Native American, the indigenous person doing the chanting and the singing and the reading of the poem. And I had the guy's name in my head because I saw it in the post. John Hawkes, is that his name? So while he's performing and doing his thing, really the whole thing was about his presence on stage. And his presence on stage was very, not muted, that's not what I'm saying, but very graceful in his reservation. I don't want to use that word as pejorative, but he was reserved, but showing his own level of reverence to what he was doing. And I think when you're doing that, when you see someone doing that, lost in their own reverence of the art, you can't help but to stand in awe of that. Regardless of what the art is, when you see someone falling into their art and they're completely disappeared into the moment, but yet they're commanding themselves in that moment, it's something that will leave you awestruck, without a doubt. So the The level of reverence that the audience was showing was incredible. The silence, the respect, the honor they were giving him was just incredible. But also, for me, what stood out were the couple of times I didn't see Tarja on stage. That really was like, okay, now the band is showing that level of reverence to this gentleman. And while they're still doing their thing, right? So they're still performing, they're still creating this sound, this music, and I'll get to that. But while they're doing it, and this is one of the things about Nightwish that really stands out, and I hope that people, if they get beyond the vocals, if they get beyond the composition, and you really start to look at the band perform as a whole, there is so much give and take. The band itself is like a blob in a lava lamp. If it's not needed, they're not there. And when it's time for them to be there, they bring it. And it's just an incredible display of shared space management by people. So the band is really tight. The band is showing their level of respect while still creating, excuse me, this wonderfully complicated yet simple sounding piece of music that Tuomas, again, just an absolutely perfect construction of a song or a movement or a piece, if you will. Because again, when I think about Tuomas, I think about composition because I don't see him as a songwriter. I see him as a composer. He is creating pieces of art when he sits down and starts his writing. So the reverence that he's showing the Native American imagery is thick and rich in its respect, and it comes through in the way he constructs the beautiful music around what is really the centerpiece, which is the message of the song. Again, I could be wrong with my interpretation of things, but when I saw the title of the song, Creek Mary's Blood, I thought, okay, Creek Indian. We have a tribe in the United States, the Creek. And in the song, they mention the Trail of Tears. I lived in Chattanooga, studied and went to school in Chattanooga, and that's where Ross's Landing is, and the Trail of Tears began there. So there's a rich history and understanding and respect of, excuse me, what they're singing about. I am not a scholar. I am not an expert or anything like that. I just know what I know, if you will. So their reverence to the subject matter, while still being able to create such a fantastic piece of music, again, just shows the level of talent that is being displayed by this band. And Tuomas in particular, because again, some songs this member is featured, other songs this member is featured. This song here, where Tarja is the lead singer, if you will, she wasn't really the feature yet. And I wrote this down. And the more I'm seeing her perform, and the more I'm hearing more Nightwish of Tarja, the more I'm seeing the different approaches. That's what I'm seeing here. So when I watch one, I see a hammer. When I see another, I see a creeper. Yet both are capable of reaching these heights that make them stand out above anyone else. So what Tarja does, when you're singing a type of music such as this, the heavier music, the darker, the richer, thicker, more leathery type earth tone music with a good double roll fill and the solos happening around you, a lot of times you're going to hear them come out and just punch you in the face, or door kickers, if you will. But what I like about Tarja is she comes in with a different temperature. She's coming in with a different approach, right? Again, her approach is very stealthy. She is very stealthy, where she suddenly appears out of nowhere, and then she kind of lulls you into this bear hug of vocal comfort. So she walks you right into that when she gets to that point where she's hammering on you like a pneumatic jackhammer. You're like, cool. because what she's done to that point is created this aura of comfort with her lilt, with the innocence, with her guileless vocals that she's bringing to the song. And yet, that innocence, that lightness, that bright, airy color pattern that she creates with her vocals is dominant. It's extremely dominant. So it's very impressive the way that she does that. And I can tell there are different approaches here. I'm starting to see, the different approaches. Yet, to me anyway, the effect is the same. Because her instrument is a part of Tuomas's composition, and he's writing these compositions to have an effect. And these vocalists can create that effect with their vocals. And I just love how she's able to do that, where suddenly you're like, oh my God, I'm getting pounded on here. I'm being pressed into this hallway of vocal sound. And then you open your eyes, so to speak, your third eye, and then she's gone. And it's just an incredible display of reverence, of vocal control. Sometimes when you hear a vocalist getting into these types of ranges, they struggle through the danger zone. They don't really control the breathing through the note. And she's able to get through all of that with a nice, rich, thick texture. There's no onset or offset. There's no ramps and drops. She's coming in clean and maintaining a cleanliness through it. And I just find it remarkable, especially when you're doing it live. But again, what's impressive about Nightwish, and for me will always be impressive, is their ability to move within their own space to create the macro while existing in the micro. And that was really on display with Empu's solo here. And I wrote down, that is the most Floyd Empu has ever Floyded. That solo he did right there is straight up David Gilmour. And I don't mean that in a comparative way. I'm not trying to quantify one is greater than the other. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that's the tone that brings you your security blanket. That's the security blanket. That's really the linchpin of connection viscerally to the song, because a few times, the hair on my arm stood up, and you're connected to it viscerally. And you have this emotion in you, this want of yearn, and you have this, or me anyway, where you feel like there's something inside of you, a sound, a feeling, a note, something inside of you that has to get out. And Empu is able to create that weep, that emotional connection through his tone that's very reminiscent of Pink Floyd. At the right spot, at the right time, just when you're craving that, what am I trying to say? He comes in and just drops it on you, and it is a perfect tone. And I mean not note-wise, but I mean the connection that really adds that visceral element to your connection to the song. And of course, what Marco and Yuka are doing with the bass and the drum are creating that tribal saccadic rhythm that really roots you in the song. So you're in the song and you're with it, and you're emotionally involved. You're vicariously living through this gentleman on stage, and what's connecting you to that gentleman on stage and his movements and his energy and his chemistry is that earth tone rhythm and heartbeat that's being created in the underneath. So while the keys and the pipe and vocals are taking you on this wonderful journey of exploration through the lyrics and through your own introspection and your understanding of the lyrics, right below that and keeping you going the whole time is that forward driving foundational element that's created between the bass and the drums. And what Marco and Yuka are doing here is creating this very primal, very, I call it Zog Hate Vire, very primitive connection to the song. So the modernity and the primitive are meeting in the middle, and it's just a wonderful piece of music. So thank you again for the suggestion. That was Creek Mary's Blood. The post that I had seen coming into this, let me get to this real quick, is I wrote down the poem interpretation. I'm not going to get into that. There's Reddit posts for that. I think that what he said at the end, even if you don't understand it, you still have a connection to what he's trying to tell you because of what you heard in the lyrics. You're able to mad lib, and that's not cheapening what's happening here. That's you, the intelligent person. That's you, the smart person, being able to say, okay, what they're singing that I understand and what he's saying I don't understand, obviously have a connection. The message is probably the same. He's doing it in his native Lakotan language as an homage, as an honor, as a tribute. So I don't want to get into the, that guy didn't interpret it right. Look, I got to tell you something. Here's something I learned along the way in my life. A language that wasn't really documented, doesn't have really an alphabet, anything like that. It's going to be hard to really say that's the correct interpretation of a language that, and honestly, the group of people that speak that, here's how the Americas were for a long time. The group of people that speak that language over there may be the same tribe, may be called the same thing, but they may not speak the same language that they speak over there. There's going to be elements in the semantics that may not match up because of environment, because of, you never met, so you never shared the language. And I don't want to get into it, man, because it's like this huge controversy or whatever, and I don't want to get into it. Great tune. If you didn't get the message about taking care of what's been given to you and treat what's been given to you as a gift, whether it's your life or the earth, I can't help you with the interpretation of that song. That's the overall message. And that's a lot of the messaging in Tuomas's music, isn't it? About appreciating your existence while appreciating that which gave you the existence and subsistence along the way. One of the phrases I enjoy is, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. I am a hippie with a good haircut. I don't litter. I field strip my cigarettes when I smoke outside. Put them in my pocket, then throw them away in the trash, even though that could be a circle as well. But anyway, so again, great tune, great message, great vibe, another well-constructed layer cake of music from Tuomas. He's just, when I say I haven't heard a bad song from him, that's going to be the truth. It's like he's like Bad Company to me. There's like no Bad Company songs I don't like. I may not want to hear it, but they're all awesome songs. And so far, he's never let me down. So thank you very much for that hookup. And Tarja's vocals, again, I don't get into the drama. I do not in any way, shape, or form. So you can leave that in someone's other person's comment section. I just don't deal with it. It was a great cover. It was a great vocals, well-constructed tune, great performance, great energy, perfect tone. So I see nothing wrong with that performance. Creek Mary's Blood Nightwish suggested in the live chat that we do every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. I go live right here from East Nashville, and you have 2 hours to ask me anything. I ask you questions. We just chat. The only rule is no politics, no religion. And you have to be a subscriber. So make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with that DM or leave it in the comments below. But you know the drill. Like, I concur, handy dandy notebook. Thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. They're the reasons I don't ask you for money. So thank you very much to them. Thank you again for all of your help, for all of your guidance, for all of your interpretations, for all of your corrections to things that I get wrong. You're my Sherpas in my journey into this new music landscape. So thank you very much for that. I try to do my best to return the respect in kind by doing good reviews of bands and songs that you love. Remember, look out for each other. Look out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.